Hello friends. Yesterday we have completed the lesson between the mosque and the temple, and I also posted multiple choice questions on that lesson. Today we learn the lesson A Letter by Hazlitt to His Son, written by William Hazlitt. William Hazlitt. William Hazlitt was born in 10th April 1778 and died in 18 September 1830. Was an English critic and essayist. William Hazlitt was an English critic and essayist. He wrote and published several volumes of essays, but his best critical work is the three courses of lectures, that is, on the English poet, on the English comic writers, and on the dramatic literature of the age of Queen Elizabeth. He has written several essays, but his critical work depends on his lectures entitled On the English Poet, on the English Comic Writers, and on the Dramatic Literature of the Age of Queen Elizabeth. He was rather quarrelsome by nature, which accounts for his unhappy relations with his wife and friends. By nature, he was quarrelsome in his childhood and even in his younger age, and the result of his nature, his unhappy relations with his wife and his friends. Perhaps he recognized these traits in his son and wanted him to develop a more pleasing personality. And he was worried about his nature, that inherently develops or grows in the mind of his son. That's why he wanted to write some suggestions to his son, and he wanted to develop a more pleasing personality of his son. That's why he writes such type of lesson. All young people can learn a lesson from Hazlitt's advice to his son, and it is also important not only for Hazlitt's son. It is a representative of all the sons and father relations. But it is understandable to all the people, and they take advice from the lesson. In the category of both fiction and non-fiction, there is a subgenre called the epistolary or letter writing form. It is a letter writing form. In this text, Hazlitt writes a letter to his son after his son returns from school, complaining about his fellow students and expressing disagreeable opinions of them. Why Hazlitt wanted to write such type of letters? Because he writes the letter to his son because of when his son returns from the school with complaining to the other fellow students and expressing disagreeable opinions about them. The letter was written in the hope that his son would not grow to form immediate prejudices of others, but would rather mature into a well-rounded gentleman, capable of accepting his situation in life and aspiring to help and respect others. The letter was written Hazlitt has write the letter in the hope that his son would not grow in such an atmosphere or in such atmosphere that he immediately develops the prejudices against the other fellow students or his friends. But he would rather mature into a well rounded gentleman, and he also should be capable of accepting the situation in his life and also aspires to help the fellow students and respects them, especially those people or students who may not be as fortunate as he is. It means that Hazlitt's son is very fortunate as compared to the other students. But Hazlitt wanted to develop his son and handle his son all the difficulties. Even he only should see the difficult condition or the difficult atmosphere of the students that they faced in their life. By seeing such type of atmosphere, Hazlitt's son would learn how to tackle the situation in life, how the unfortunate students live their life without supporting any people. They only tackle the situation or handle the situation in their own views. Actual lesson. My dear little fellow, you are now going to settle at school and may consider this as your first entrance into the world. And Hazlitt writes to his son, my dear little fellow, you are now going to settle at school, and he considered that the first entrance into the school of his child is the first entrance into the world. As my health is so indifferent, as my health is so indifferent, and I may not be with you long. He also suggests that William Hazlitt also told him that his health is not as earlier as his younger age, and he may not be with you long. Means he suggests him that he is not with him for a long time. That's why he tackles his life with his own. I wish to leave you some advice for your conduct in life, both that it may be of use to you and as something to remember me by. And he wanted to give some suggestions to his son. Every parent wanted to leave his children in a very happy and prosperous way in their future life. Likewise, Hazlitt also wanted to leave his son in future in a very happy and prosperous way, and he wanted that he handled the situation in his life. Whatever the situation comes in his life, he had the capacity to handle such situation. That's why he told him, I may at least be able to caution you against my own errors. I may at least be able to caution you against my own errors, if nothing else. He also confessed that, William Hazlitt also confessed here that he has some lacuna in his nature, in his conduct or behavior. He also told his son that he was conscious about that lacuna, if nothing else. As we went along to your new place of destination, you often repeated that you just say that they were a set of stupid, disagreeable people. As we went along to your new place of destination, you often repeated that you just say that they were a set of stupid, disagreeable people, meaning the people at the school. And he also warned him that he also live with the people he also keep in his mind that all these peoples are not favorable to him, but they disagree to the newcomers or the Hazlitt's son. You were to blame in this. You were to blame in this. He means Hazlitt's son blamed such type of people because they are not favorable to him. That's why he blamed to the people or to the fellow students in the school. It is a good old rule to hope for the best. It is two old rules to hope for the best. Always, my dear, believe things to be right till you find them the contrary, and even then, instead of irritating yourself against them, endure to put up with them as well as you can, if you cannot alter them. And he also suggests him that he believes the things to be right till you find them the contrary. And if he also find the good habits of the people, not the bad habits, and if he has the capacity to alter them, he definitely do the work, but he has not the capacity or power to alter them, then you live with their views and with their opinions, not live with the contrary opinions with them. It is harmful to the every child or to the people or to him. You said you were sure you should not like the school where you were going. This was wrong. You said you were sure you should not like the school where you were going, and if you are not able to live in that school, or the school is not like to you, it is not fair. It was very wrong for him. What you meant was that you did not like to leave home. You did not like to leave home. What you meant was that you did not like to leave home, but you could not tell whether you should like the school or not till you had given it a trial. Otherwise, you were lying that you should like it was determining that you would not like it. It means that the school is good for all the people, but as far as the William Hazlitt's son, because his son lived in a very highly and favorable condition. He lives with the bed of flowers, and in that school, it is not compulsory to meet the every child living with the bed of flowers, because in that school there are many unfortunate fellow students would meet Hazlitt's son. At that time, he keeps his mind silence and do not irritate himself or the other students. It is good for him. Never anticipate evils, or because you cannot have things exactly as you wish, make them out worse than they are through more spite and willfulness. Never anticipate evils, or because you cannot live things exactly as you wish. Every happenings in that school, or every behavior of the other child is not exactly your wish, or the other students are not behaves with your opinion, or they are not live and likes with your favorable, but their appearance and their worst behavior, you would live with them and live in a very happy mood with the fellow students. Okay, thank you friends. We will see tomorrow.